Hello guys and good evening. Welcome to round number 11 of the League of Europe with the lads of Division 3 here for the Austrian Grand Prix. And we are here with a three-man commentary team tonight with myself, Ivor Bryn Mike, Wave Intel and Marco. Say hello guys.
Hello lads. And ladies.
Hello.
Never know.
Yeah, I'm not expecting many ladies.
No.
It's a pure Celtic commentary box show today. You're gonna love it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say we've got Mark the paper Irishman.
Yeah, the passport chaser.
Hey, but, you know, as long as you've put in that paperwork and it still counts.
So it looks like it's going to be. I'm guessing it's going to be dry. I don't know if someone can help us. But I don't know. Unless
I would guess we'll see in that we've got car cannon out on softs, and you wouldn't expect to see softs if it's going to be a wet start to the race.
Yeah.
Well, you never know on this track. It can throw up a few misconditioned races, and that's when the racing gets really fantastic, in my opinion, on this circuit.
No, we've got Ibo saying they're apparently going to have light rain at the 45-minute mark.
Ooh.
So we might not see that, because it's quite a short race here, isn't it?
Should be, yeah.
Yeah, it's also
one's
interesting because it's a track that even if it's really heavy rain, you can still get away with quite an aggressive setup.
I would not know. I've done zero practice in the wet, as per usual, because I'm an idiot. Even though this track is somewhere in the Alps, that's just what I'm guessing.
Right, well, I wasn't here for the last race. I don't know who was doing commentary last week, but maybe you could.
Both of us were.
Okay, you both were. Maybe you could take us through what happened last week and see who's on form.
Go on, then. Go on, Wave.
That's a really good question that I don't actually know the answer to right now. I definitely haven't forgotten.
I will take us through. So it was slightly. I don't know. It wasn't the most eventful of races, if I'm honest. There wasn't tons happening. Zwadema really kind of started off on quali and started off on pole, but Morgan was so much quicker than everyone else around Germany and got the win with Fuzz in second and Zwadema in third. Maka with probably one of his best performances coming in fifth. But so he'll be happy with that, and I know that I'm pretty sure he likes it around here, as does Car Cannon. So yeah, it will be interesting actually, and it just means that there's Zwadema's gap at the top, whilst it is. I mean, he extended it funnily enough, but it's 27 points, but there's 3 guys behind him who, in the way of Bones, Jabbo and Morgan, I think still probably feel like they're in with a shout.
So with how it is right now, with the table, it is really close at the top for this stage in the season. So at the moment, it's really hard to call who's going to... there's no way of knowing who's even going to be in the lead after this race, really. Because it's close enough that it's possible for someone to overtake, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I can tell you right now who I think will still be in the lead no matter what happens with this race would be Fuse.
Well, Dan's
27 points clear.
Yeah, XCI Dan. I'm sorry, I called him Zwadema, but he's obviously changed his name. I don't know why I called him Zwadema, because apparently that's not how you even say it. So we've got a bit of a slipstream situation going on here with the.
McLaren's up to their old tricks.
Yeah. Ooh, did he invalidate that? Did he, mate? Oh, he's carrying on. Look, I know you can cut a little bit at T1, but not tons compared to like Germany, which you can pretty much cross over into Austria. at that T1. But this is
Well,
interesting. They're obviously still going on with it.
I've got to question the tactics by some of these guys going out on the ultra softs this early and setting a lap.
Um, I
I'm
suppose it
not actually
depends.
too concerned about that. That's because I know that tyre wear is not an issue here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see even people going out on the ultrasofts and pulling off a one stop.
I think
I
they'd be
mean,
stretching it with the one stop on the ultra softs. Ideally, super softs to the softs would be the better strategy from where I stand on it. But
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut about what I think the best strategy is in case there's any D2 guys watching this.
I mean, me personally, I'll be honest. I'm planning on trying to do this ultra soft, but it is a huge stretch, and you do. Well, quite an aggressive pad user, so like I put a lot of stress on my tyres, and I know there are some guys in here. I won't name any names, but there's some guys in this lobby that are really struggling. They're getting punctures in practice, so definitely it's a very hard thing to pull off, and it probably means you have to compromise your things like your on and off throttle traction. Um, so it'll be interesting. I genuinely do think that the super softs to the soft might well be a little bit quicker, but then I tell you what, this track you do not, especially with the ghosting, which I think is really good. It's a lot more realistic. It doesn't insta ghost if there's any incidents at T1. I wouldn't want to be starting in like 8th or 9th on those super softs, having 7 or 8 people ahead of me that
nah,
could
but
easily spin each other.
with B Morgan right now
I
on
wouldn't really
provisional.
want.
Oh, never mind. He's just
Uh,
gone quick on ultra softs. He was at the on super softs in Paul.
Now, to continue what you were just saying there, Mark, I wouldn't really want to start on this track in 8th or 9th at all.
Yeah,
It's just such a tight run into turn 1.
yeah, dude.
And very easy to pick up that first warning for corner cutting as well. Or track
Yeah, that's something you really want to avoid. But I think when you're in your flow around here, you don't necessarily pick up many warnings, but I mean you can avoid it fairly easily. We've got ghosts.
Oh, go streak on. And the most important thing about the session is Evo's not in last. Because Fuzz hasn't put in a lap in anger yet.
I mean, we already know
Oh,
what Mark is doing right now. He's got his pen and pad out. He's writing down strategy as he's watching this race.
Nah, I don't think Mark has anything to worry about on this track.
Well, I don't know. It's going to be interesting because I do want to see. I'll be honest. It's a definite opportunity to do a bit of scouting. Let's be honest, but I'm a bit worried about. The key area will be laps 10 to 13. I don't know when people are planning on stopping exactly, but that's when it will be very interesting to see the super softs versus the ultra softs, and then equally, how do those worn super softs stand up to the softs? After those guys will have pitted. So,
Well,
Yeah, but I definitely didn't volunteer to start doing this commentary on this just so I could scout in the races. Never.
that's exactly
terrible
why you've
idea.
done it. That's exactly why you've done it. Don't lie to us. That's like it's like a Scottish football fan going to watch England international team and that. Nah, I'm not here scouting. I'm just here to watch it.
Yeah, I don't think that would help us.
I can't
you
even
never
say
know.
that Scotland's manager would be going because I don't. Who is it this week? I don't know.
I have no idea. I haven't known who it was since Strachan.
I think the one thing that I'm a little bit shocked by, and we've kind of not really touched on, is that Morgan is really obviously pacey, but normally this track tends to promote quite close qualifying grids. Germany really did.
Yeah.
But this is looking a lot more spread out than I thought it
But
would.
so like another thing I'd like to point out, I know it's probably due to tyres more than anything, but Frey set up in second, which is quite a substantial change from where they usually are, right in the midfield.
Hmm.
Yeah, but you gotta think with the guys behind him on soft tyres, as soon as they strap on a faster set, he's gonna be dropping down a few positions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I still think they're going to be happy with how they've done so far, and if they can keep that up, they should be in for a decent result, especially compared to how they've done in the past.
Heated's lap is very good on those softs. I know that much. That could be very close to Morgan's time, you would think, if he can strap on the if he decides to strap on the ultras.
Yeah, especially with track evolution as well.
I'm just having a little peek at the constructors because it's one thing that we never really allude to is the constructors and McLaren, Mercedes, Renault very close to each other. Only 22 points separating McLaren at the top from Renault in third.
Well, speaking of McLaren, this qualifying session isn't going too great for them so far. 10th and 14th.
Well, I caught Dan going going over the line very slowly, so I don't know whether that's a conscious decision.
Well, he
right
is
now, it
backing
looks
up
like
on
they're just
the
trying to
ERS.
stick. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to stick together right now, so that it looks like Dan's going to give Mac a slipstream for this lap.
I get why they do it, I really do, but part of me also wonders, does it overcomplicate it a bit? I know you're not a fan of it, are you?
No, I'm not. I don't really see the point in it. Because as a team, you're probably better getting both people slightly higher up to have one person a lot higher than the other. 'Cause no matter what, this is going to compromise one of those two drivers' qualifying sessions.
I mean, just looking at the way they're kind of going about it right now, they're just putting lap time into. Well, they're just putting laps on these tyres, and if you start on those tyres, you don't really want to be starting on them if you've done not only an out lap, but a lap to give your teammate slipstream, then a flying lap, and then an in lap. You don't really want to be putting that much tyre wear on these tyres.
And on a track like this, there isn't really long enough straights to necessitate slipstreaming in the first place.
And they've both messed it up a bit because unless they've got an ulterior, unless they've got another plan, I don't know. But
Well, I think Mark might have invalidated his lap at turn 1 because he did go wide on the exit.
I think there's a bit of a strategy that we haven't really picked up on, and there's two things that could happen with that rain. If it does start a bit earlier, well, the guys on the softs could well be in a very interesting spot where they can naturally pit if it does get wet. And also, I wonder if anyone's going to be. It would be pretty crazy to try it, but I don't know. It's interesting. If someone went super soft, with the intention of it coming down towards the end and then having to pit.
Yeah, but that could also come back to bite them if it doesn't go wet enough to go on to the inters.
Yeah, exactly.
No guarantee that we'll ever see DRS disabled and everyone switching onto a wet compound. And in that case, then they'd be disqualified or have to take an extra pit stop, which will just put them completely out of it on a track like this.
Yeah, but on such a short circuit with a very small lap time, and a 20-second pit stop is really going to drop you back.
Yeah. RJ just saying, me sat here watching D3 whilst trying to do some revision. D3 is just too good to say no. I agree. It's definitely my favourite division to watch. And that sounds crazy, but...
If I was doing well in D2, I'd prefer watching that, but I'm not, so... I don't think it's too enjoyable to watch yourself crashing every week.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I tend to skip those.
never mind. I was going to make a Sebastian Vettel pun, but he just spins out.
I do that too.
He was okay when he was at Toro Rosso, it's just when he was at Ferrari. Talking of Toro Rosso, Bag of Bones will not be very happy with his situation. I wonder if I wonder if there's Dan and Bones are potentially thinking about this weather and purposely trying to start on a fresh set of softs.
I mean,
Because
it
Bones
might
isn't
be a
coming back.
good strategy from.
Yeah, but looking at that, that does sort of play into the hands of drivers like B. Morgan, Fuzz, and Jabo. They're going to have a lot less traffic to deal with start race if things stay as they are now.
Heated has put the pressure on everyone because he is done for the day and he's currently fifth. You don't really want to be stuck behind a guy on softs. So
He's out
guys
on
like
supers right
Robert,
now.
Yeah, he's out on a
oh, is it?
outlap on Supers, yeah.
Oh,
He's going
blimey,
to get one
I'm
more
skipping
lap
out.
in.
I thought he was coming in. Sorry, apologies.
And then we got Karkan, who's also on supers. So the soft tyre runners are ditching this also a set of supers. So we'll see where this puts the pair of them respectively.
Well, I'd say it makes sense for him to switch onto the Supers because you don't really want to be starting a race on the hardest tyres. There's not much grip in the track, and coupling that with the fact that then you'll have less grippy tyres than everyone else, you're just going to end up losing positions at the start that you might not be able to get back later on.
Yeah, but Bones is waiting it out then. So interesting.
The only one out on the set of softs right now is Dan.
Yeah. And that's
We got
good.
what have we got here? Fitted. Yeah, LFC's out on the ultras. He's going quicker.
See if anyone can steal pole for B. Morgan at the death here.
Right, when I'm on board with Heated in the middle of sector 2, making sure he's hitting these apexes. It looks pretty clean so far.
Down into ninth on the soft.
And dropped
Turns
immediately
10th
down
as
to 10th.
LFC jumps up to 3rd.
Great lap by LFC.
Yeah, he's been showing some good pace recently, LFC.
Heated across the line.
Ooh, it's gonna be
Up in the third.
Very big. Very big. Fuzz will be happy with his lap too. Oh, Cannon, what's he gonna do?
But his teammate Frey coming across the line right now.
Karkanen's backing out of
Up
it.
in the second, Frey. Fantastic lap from
Karkanen's
Frey
backed
there.
out of it.
So that's that.
Yeah, but that's our grid.
The one thing I'd like to point out is the gap between Frey and Fuzz. Less than a tenth, and on different tyre compounds. So Fuzz and Heated appear to be in a great position going into the start of this race.
Yeah, agreed.
Especially since they've split the ultra soft runners as well.
Yeah, so B Morgan's going to be hoping that Fuzz and Heated get into a bit of a battle and Free and LFC get into the mix as well early on so we can kind of build that gap early.
Yeah, of course, if we wanted to replicate last week's race where he just walked it.
What you definitely do not want, if you are Morgan, you need to get out the gate quick, get a second, because DRS trains around here are very hard to break.
Yes, especially with 3 DRS zones immediately one right after the other. I know some people were joining during qualifying, so we have to see who's joined. So it won't go through the orders just yet, but we'll go through them when they're on their formation lap now.
I have to say, I think the attendance is actually pretty decent. for an end of season race. I know we've got. I think yeah, you're right. I know that at least Ryan Kai is joining. I don't know if someone else is joining as well. Um, Towards the end of the game, normally attendances really drop off, and I've noticed it in other leagues to the point where the other leagues that I actually raced in stopped. So,
Yeah,
to be fair,
I know that as well. The other leagues
noticed
that
that
I take
on,
part in, we're having to set a minimum attendance for each week, otherwise we're not going to go ahead with races.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
it's
noticed
really
that
good.
on the F1 2017 game towards the end of it, and people were just dropping off.
But then I think one of the causes for that is the fact that, from what I've seen over all three of the divisions here, there's close racing for everyone, really.
Yeah, everyone's kind of got a rival, I think, which is nice.
Yeah, like me, my rival is the wall.
I think the wall's
Yeah.
got you, but right. So on pole position, we got B Morgan with 3 alongside him. On the second row, we got Fuse and Heated. Third row, LFC in 5th, Jabbo in 6th. The fourth row contains the Force India of Robert and the Williams of Mike. And then on the 5th row, Car Cannon just ahead of Dan, who will be starting on a set of soft tyres. And then behind them, with free choice of tyre compound, we got Ghost Recon starting on a set of super soft tyres in 11th, Ibo in 12th on a set of fresh soft tyres, Bag of Bones in 13th on soft, Maka in 14th also on soft, and Ryan Kai was the only person who joined, and he'll be starting at the back on a set of super soft tyres.
Another thing to point out about Ryan Kai is that he's going to be on a default setup as well.
You know, I would say this is one of the best tracks to probably get a default setup.
We have seen some, frankly, amazing drives from people with default setups earlier on in the season, so it's definitely not a death sentence for his race.
I think you could probably just flick your wing down to 3 or 4, and as long as you're okay with the braking, I don't think it's gonna. It will probably help having a default set on your tyre wear as well. So
Yeah, it'll
I guess
definitely
it's
play a
really
part
hard.
for him.
Oh,
And Dan's
Dan
left the
has
session.
disconnected, yeah.
Nightmare.
If he can't get in soon, he's not going to... Actually, now he'll be able to race from Tona, shouldn't he?
You would think so. If someone, well, it's going to be sketchy getting him back in. Invited. Hopefully, he's got another invite.
And here we go now to 5 red lights for round number 11. Lights are out and we are underway. It looks like a very good start for B Morgan. And also for Fuse, trying to go around the outside of 3 for second place. Able to get it done.
I'm sorry to interrupt there, but according to Ebo, during the formation lap, his engineer said rain in 10 to 15 minutes, so...
Right, did anyone else see what Robert was doing there? It looked like he just didn't like those polystyrene boards on the side there.
The race director is going to have some stern words with Force India driver after this race.
Ooh, it's heated, looking very good. Ooh, LFC going wide, and that allows Robert through. Yeah, rest in peace, no assist, guys. Into T2.
Actually, I actually find going no assist is not that bad in turn 2, actually.
I wouldn't know, I'm an assist scrub.
Heated with a very good start, and what the one big criteria for Morgan was to get that second gap, and he's kind of showing off.
Well, Mark straight into the pits. Mark and Robert straight into the pits.
Robert made contact on the back of LFC. Maka, unbelievable.
Feels like Maka doesn't have a front wing, or at least doesn't have half of it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Robert just got that damage off the polystyrene boards, like, you know. I'm pretty sure that's what's happened to him.
I'm hoping...
Looking at the wing they took off Maka's car, didn't actually look damaged at all, to be fair.
Ooh, Ghost has gone round.
We got Jabbo having a little look on Fuse, who's having a little bit of a battle with 3. This is for 3rd place. side between Fuse and Frey as they come into the heart of Sector 2. Trying to keep it nice and clean.
Bones is
Frey gets
round
a
as
bit of a
well.
twitch. Yeah, Frey getting a bit of a twitch there while trying to go side by side with Fuzz, which lets the Renault driver get ahead. It's quite an optimistic move for both of them trying to go side by side for that section of the track though. B Morgan just starts stretching his legs a bit.
Well, just looking at the positions changed as he's just left the session because he's lagged out of it. Ryan Kai has climbed 6 places and he has just lagged out. So unbelievable timing for me.
Amazingly though, Dan's still sitting around the position that he would have started in had he still been here.
Yeah, really unfortunate for him. Really unfortunate. It's annoying when that happens.
It's unfortunate for him that his championship contenders are all going to be hoping that he can't get in, as harsh as that sounds. They're going to, any advantage they can possibly get on him, they're going to be happy. And we've got a first DNF from Ghost Recon, as I was speaking there.
Yeah, it looked like he was in the pits for a very long time, so it might have been a pit lane glitch for him. We know this game loves to throw up a good old pit lane glitch every now and then.
This game just loves to throw up a glitch every now and then, and it's right on board with the leaders there as Ghost Recon's car is broken and ghosted at turn 1.
Can I just say that
now.
Heated has managed to clear DRS from Fuse behind, so Fuse is now under pressure from Jabbo for 3rd place down the inside of turn 2. Jabbo making it happen.
Very good move. But
he was poor on traction.
He was, but he's still got DRS.
He's looking up the inside and looks like Fuse going side by side with another car here if he decides to brake late here, but no, he thinks better of that.
Yeah, he wasn't enough alongside him for...
Yeah, don't really want to be going for optimistic moves on lap 4.
Want to give a bit of a shout out. Sorry, go on.
I was just saying, this battle in between Jabbo and Fuse is definitely helping Heated out.
Yeah, this is definitely... Well, the rain's interesting. The rain's going to bring a different dynamic. You've got to think all of the soft runners are going to be very happy with that. Although, the best one is Bones, who I know has gone round. So, not the best situation for him.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
I've just been checking, I didn't actually see what that was for, so I think it might just be one of the ghost cars causing it.
I'll tell you who I'm very impressed with at the moment is Mike, who is doing fairly well. He's a bit above us to where he sometimes is, so hopefully he can keep this up.
Yeah, it was just on that battle between Mike and LFC, but there. Just hoping to see what these guys can do.
I'm just looking, I believe Dan's managed to get back in. As spectating him, his car's not posted anymore.
Yeah, he is back.
Yep.
I'd quite like to see a safety car, really, for Dan.
And then with the way this game is, I doubt we'll see a safety car. We've got a
LFC's in the pits.
Yeah, I've got another pit stop, and I think he might have wing damage.
That was a very slow entry there from LFC. He has definitely lost a lot of time on the entry there.
And yeah, that's a wing change for the Toro Rosso driver. I didn't see.
I'm guessing he must have just hit the back of Mike or something.
Well, it might not hurt him too much in some weird and wonderful ways other than the 5 seconds, because I'm pretty sure you can stretch 2 sets of supers. Well, it's going to rain at some point, I suppose, but I'm pretty sure you could stretch them.
Well, speaking of the rain, it's going to be quite interesting to see which of these drivers can stretch their starting tyres out to whenever that rain actually decides to start.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point because if it only comes down about lap 16 or something, the ultra soft runners, that could really ruin their race. Around any window after, I don't think these tyres can feasibly go longer than 13, 14 laps. At
I think they
best.
might be able to, but it all depends on how much strain they've put into those tyres already. Like, those
I
those
mean,
tyre lives are already pretty much decided at this point.
I know you gotta really stretch your ultra softs to around about lap 12 to make the one stop work on the soft tyres. So if I was on the ultra softs and I knew that the rain was going to be coming like around about lap 20, I'd be pitting for a second set of ultra softs and that, and just gunning it from there.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad shout to be fair, but one thing I do like about this series of games is that the light rain sometimes never turns into inters. It happened in a race where I was racing around Canada before, and whilst it was raining, it never went over the cuff. So you can be a little bit hesitant to do that and trust the weather.
Yeah, but at the same time, when it comes to when the rain starts, people on the harder compounds of tyres will find it that a bit easier than the people who are still on the ultra soft at that point, due to the fact that the harder tyres can work better at cooler temperatures. That's another thing drivers are going to have to think about.
Foos is looking up the inside of Jabbo here. These guys are having a great battle. Jabbo gives him plenty of room.
Yeah, but he's gone wide.
Very good. Jabbo, yeah, very well played. He clearly planned that in advance. He broke just a tiny bit earlier and gave Fuse the inside. And Fuse didn't capitalise, so that would be frustrating for Fuse.
I was also going to bring up another point now about the rain coming down. For the guys that are not using traction control or ABS, it's going to be a whole nother situation for them.
I mean, for a wet track, it's probably one of the better ones to be doing with no assist, due to the fact that there's not many strong traction zones on this track, due to the fact that it's so short.
I beg to differ. I beg to differ.
Yeah,
this
T2 is not like that. I'd say it would be tough. I think the big thing for me, in that crossover period, I mean, I use no TC, but I have to turn medium on in the rain. I'll be honest, I'm just terrible with it. And you know, I suspect some of these guys might be similar. To be fair.
Nah, I think there's not a huge. Well, there is a fair bit of difference between medium and completely off, but I don't know. I think if you're running no traction control now, you should be able to feel where the grip is a lot more than when you've got a medium on. I think it's a lot easier to lose the back end on medium.
Yeah, true.
And you also assume that if there's people on no traction control, they'd at least have done some practice. They at least have done some driving in the wet at some point, so they'll know roughly what to expect as well.
I'll tell you one thing, Bones is driving the absolute brakes off this car because he's not lost much time. He did have a spin round. Morgan, I think the gap between Morgan and Heated is going to be very interesting now. It's not growing, and I imagine it might shrink. So we could have a very good race on our hands here, even though it looks like Morgan, you know, if you're switching on now and you're looking at this and you think, oh, wow, okay, Morgan's won this, great. I think you might be wrong. Maybe, you know, he still might win, but there's a lot that could go wrong here with the changeable weather conditions.
Well, here's the thing, if the weather comes down in the next, like, 5 to 6 laps, those super softs should be able to stretch it until that point. So B Morgan would have to make up a full pit stop minus the gap what he's got right now, which is starting to come down.
Yeah, it is. It's now dipped under the 6 second mark. So as long as Heated can keep Jabbo away from him, I think he'll start reeling in Morgan Morgan's in such a penny for Morgan's thoughts, because this must be a really horrible spot to be in.
Yeah, but Mark, you were talking about Bag of Bones do well in the soft down, but there's also Dan, who after what can only be said was a terrible start to the race due to the fact that he disrupted, I think he's actually putting in more work than Bag of Bones is right now. Because it appears like Dan's catching up to the back of the Toro Rosso driver, and through that they're both sort of catching up to the cars ahead.
What is Macca doing? Macca's coming in the pits.
Again.
What's he
And
sticking
it's
on?
just for tyres.
Ultras.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's quite surprised because he was on the softs. And there's no way that soft tyres should realistically be put out at this point.
Bit odd.
Here's the thing, that's a second pit stop as well.
Yeah. I mean, there is one thing that Mac will be looking at. It's the first time in 3 races that he's made it past turn 1.
He's gonna be really, well, I don't know. Yeah, penny for his force as well. I don't know. Bit of an odd one. Jabbo, I think Heated's made a bit of a mistake somewhere, because Jabbo's now caught him by 0.6 of a lap, and he's dragging Fuse along with him. So Morgan will be.
And the gap's grown again.
Yeah, so Heated also looks like he's struggling a bit. The gap, yeah, I mean, that corner, the sector 2 on worn tyres, you feel like you've got perennial understeer, you just don't grip into the middle of the corner. So even though I would suggest Morgan's driving better than Heated, I don't think he can do much at this point to prevent the time going down.
But then that's probably expected that since he started on the ultra soft tyres, so he's probably got some idea of what he's going to do next at this point in the race.
I'm a bit confused by the what I'm going to term the Maltese fuel system. Bree on D2 last race, he underfueled around Germany, which I was very, very surprised at, and Heated, his Maltese counterpart, is already low on fuel.
Yeah, they've just filled the rest of the tank up with Maltesers.
Well, here's the thing, I mean, if it's going to start raining, they can save our fuel back up.
True.
Because lean and standard is probably the better engine modes to be in the rain.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but we've got B Morgan now coming into the pits.
Yeah.
See what's happening. Softs. Nope.
So it appears like he's banking on the fact that we're not going to go full wet.
Well, I think that's just covering off.
Really late in the race.
I think that's just covering off all bases. I think that's actually a smart move by B Morgan there.
I agree, because like I say, if it doesn't rain heavy enough for it to finish, for it to ever get fully wet, then he's golden. And I think perhaps, you know, he has got the pace on the field at the moment. Well, the guys in the front anyway, Bones and Dan are looking quite racy, but they're quite far out the equation. So really, he could probably afford losing 3 or 4 seconds on these.
But one thing he's going to have to watch out for is he came up really close to the cars behind, and if he can't get enough tension in those tyres to stay ahead.
It does look like he's got a bit more grip in Sector 2 than these guys. Although Mike is starting to... no, Mike has just dropped out of DRS. Never mind.
Considering normally in this game the hardest compound is very hard to heat up, I don't find that with the softs as much around here compared to other tracks. But
I think when you've got mediums or the hards to deal with, that's when it becomes tricky to heat them up, and especially around, you know, a track like Silverstone where you got the very hard blue roll tyres. They're the worst ones to heat up.
But no one ever uses in a race.
Yeah, no one ever wants to use them.
They look so cool though, like on commentary, just like that. especially in a Williams.
So what it is that's Sarge's tyre.
Yeah, it is. It is. Oh, we've had something happen.
I don't
Don't
know
know
what
if
it was. One thing I'd like to find out is Bag of Bones got past car cannon.
That's
I'm,
huge.
That's
I'm
went
going to
Bag of
bring up
Bones
something
to
interesting,
six.
but yeah. Freya's just come into the pits as well, same lap as me Morgan, but Freya's come out on a set of ultra soft tyres.
Yes.
So
That's what we
Freya
like.
is expecting the rain to come
And
quite,
Heated's dropped down to
quite
third.
soon.
Heated's down to third.
What's happened here?
Heated is 7 seconds behind the battle
Yeah,
between Fuse and Jabbo.
something must have happened there.
Wow.
He must
It
have
definitely
spun
did,
the
'cause I
car or
saw-
something.
I saw the gap from Heated to Morgan go from about 11 to 2. So he's definitely had something happen, and
Yeah,
Morgan.
unless that's what caused the yellow flags that you mentioned, Mark.
I think I know what it is, lads. It started to rain.
Wow.
The rain
Jabbo's
is coming
inherited the
down.
world. Frey, penny for Frey's thoughts. Poor
Yeah,
guy.
but another thing to point out is that means that if it does come down now, heavy, like starts getting a bit heavier and gets wet, it could have actually hurt Morgan quite a lot.
Well, Bones is
He
now
had to make that pit
running
stop
4.5
anyway.
seconds. Yeah, he did. But what's interesting is Bones is now 4.5 seconds after having a spin behind the
Oh,
race
Heated's
leader.
coming in. Heated's coming into the pits. Is he going to make that call now?
I think that. Yeah.
It's way too early going out there right now.
But he was struggling. I think he wasn't confident on the. I think he probably felt he was going to spin anyway. So I hope it.
Yeah,
Yes,
there
it's
it
in
is.
does.
Well, it's interesting, but showing one of his tires as being a soft for me.
Hey, mix and mash, but you know, it's out of the way.
broke his wing as well in that incident. So he's going to drop right down.
No, that's promoted Dan now at P7.
And Bag of Bones up in P4, so Bag of Bones, after starting outside the top 10, has done an incredible drive now to be up here in 4th.
Yeah, but Dan and Frey tried to go side by side through what is turn 3 according to the FIA.
Yeah. I can have a whole conversation on that. What I find interesting between Dan and Frey is that
Jabbo
this is
Fuse
why I
into the
love
pits.
again. I mean, how is?
It's
I haven't
too
really
early.
noticed how he.
But
Yeah.
I'd say wait until either DRS is disabled or it's literally undrivable.
I'm looking at the times between Heated and Robert right now. And that gap is just growing and growing. It is
Frey's gone
too
well.
easy.
Yeah, but with them all going into the pits early, that's re-promoted B Morgan into the lead, so you'd be quite happy if the rain now takes its time to come down properly, or even if it doesn't come down properly at all.
Well, I'm just looking at that gap right now. Car Cannon is... who's just got past Mike. Mike in the wall. Mike lost it on the exit of turn 2.
Yeah, so with Jabbo sitting right behind Car Cannon, that'll give us a rough idea. Even though Car Cannon's tyres are probably dead at this point, it'll still give us an idea of whether or not dry tyres are faster than the inters.
They are. That 17 lap old super soft tyres are just coming to the end of his life. He's still gaining a little bit here and there through the sector 2 where he should be losing.
Yeah, it's getting narrower though because Jabbo's keeping it. Well, he's quicker now. I think now is the point. Ooh, God.
That was interesting.
Jabbo just nearly costing himself as Dan and Fuzz. Well, Dan stays out, and he is catching Fuzz.
Yeah, but the one thing that I'm seeing is, even though it's been now been raining for a few laps, it doesn't look all that wet.
I think it's right on the line, and
I don't know, I'd say another two
Yeah,
laps will have
say
DRS disabled.
I'd say wait at least one lap before even thinking about pitting at this point.
Car Cannon and LFC need to Be careful on the exit of this pit lane.
Right, I'm just going to
Otherwise,
put this out right now. If Morgan was to pit right now, he would come out in 6th place and would have about 4 seconds to catch Fuse.
Dan is absolutely flying. I wonder.
Yeah, but one thing I'd like to point out is talking about the tyre debate, I'd say it's not early enough going by the fact Jabo isn't gaining on the cars ahead.
Alright, bag of bones into the pits.
Oh,
He
he's
did
out.
out.
Let's see where
Imagine a
that
safety car.
goes.
Right, I got to ask the question: how has Ryan Kai's AI got front wing damage?
What?
How has he managed that?
I think more
That's a
importantly
safety car.
is
Wow.
another thing I'd like to find out is if one more person doesn't finish, Ryan Kai's AI car will be in a points paying position. Not that he'll be eligible for points, but he'll finish in a
Oh,
points paying position.
Dan's been held here. Oh, don't tell me the game's absolutely... Oh, no.
And
What on earth? What happened there? He's
Check
back.
penalties. Check penalties. See if you had a 5 second.
yeah, I'm just gonna jump on that. Let's see. Nope,
LFC gets...
he's completely clean. Done.
Right, now is the time. B Morgan is into the pit. He's got a 17.2. Oh, 15.9. Yeah, it is definitely intermediates right now.
Oh, he's losing chunks. Absolute chunks and chunks and chunks. So that's going to really... That could put him behind Fuzz. Whereas it might not have before.
Yeah, but the difference between fresh enters and 2-up enters is actually quite a bit.
I tell you a factor that... What's going on with Fuzz? What's going
It's
on
going to be
with
close.
Fuzz?
It's going to be close.
I
Oh,
think D
he's
Morgan's
been
going to hold that. Yeah. D Morgan coming out in 2nd position. Fuzz right behind him, and Bag of Bones. So, I get 6 seconds, not really what you call close, but considering where he started.
Different game now. We've got the two Force Indias fighting each other.
I'm just looking at
Just to add to the misery.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at Maka appears to have been held in the pits there as well.
Right, so
There
we
he
got
is.
Jabo out in the lead. 4.7 seconds ahead
Another thing I'd
of
like to
B
point out is
Morgan.
I don't actually know if the pit stop changed Maka's tyres. Apparently,
Nope,
still
he's
on
off.
9-lap old soft.
He's off. He spun it.
Maka, don't purposely retire.
Yeah, you're still in a points paying position.
No, I didn't
No,
retire, just don't retire on track. Right.
Yeah.
It's not saying. There's LFC and Mike having a ding dong.
Joe,
Yeah,
what we could have
Mike-
done, we could have just looked at Ryan Kai's strategy, because AI know the perfect time when to pit on in, doesn't he?
Yeah, actually. That's a very good point.
We were there just
don't know what's
rattling our brain.
Yeah,
Is it
but
this lap? Is
it's
it
more
next
fun
lap?
for us just to guess randomly.
I mean, to be honest, I never thought an AI car could get front wing damage when it's a ghost.
And I'll
Unless
tell you
it's
what,
fun. Unless it had the wing damage before.
Oh, Ryan Kai's going for a move. Oh, down the inside. Oh,
a
he's around the
spectacular
outside.
drive.
Oh my God, here goes the McLaren off. Ryan Kai, you legend.
Yeah. One bat I'd like to point out is the fact that we've got an inter-team battle with Force Indias.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah,
And a 3-man
Mac-
battle between Mike, LFC, and Free.
yeah, and I think Fuzz is, I think, gaining a little bit on Morgan to make that as interesting.
Morgan doesn't really seem to be gaining on Jabo. Gaining a bit every now and then, but it doesn't seem to stay. Seems to gain a bit and then lose it again.
Well, I know B Morgan doesn't use any assists. And I know that
Yeah.
from personally racing him myself, and don't want to toot my own horn here, but I don't think he's as comfortable in the wets as he is on the dry.
Yeah, but so I'm thinking from racing Jabo in the past, he seems to be quite comfortable when it gets wet.
Yeah, agreed. It was very. We had a race with him, didn't we? Sorry,
Yeah,
apologies. We had a race.
can we not talk about Japan if that's what you're going to bring up?
Yeah, and he was very good though. He was very quick. His pace was a lot quicker than his natural dry pace compared to ours. I remember that. So Jabo's a bit of a fan of the rain. LFC isn't. He's just gone wide at turn 3, 2, whatever you want to call it, and Frey has got the line.
Here's the question, lads. Is it going to get to a point where it's, oh my god, LFC and Frey have made contact down up in the 8th?
They have, and
that let Dan go through.
I
And
think there was a bit
Carcannon's
of
got past
desync.
Robert.
I think there was a bit of desync. That's so unfortunate. I think LFC is fine with his wing.
Yeah,
I can't speak to
but,
Frey.
guys, we finally have everyone on inters now that Mac has made another pit stop.
Yeah, it's better fault for that for him. Hopefully he can. Well,
Catch Ryan guy.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm guessing no matter what, he's going to be classed as 12, just the fact that Ryan Kai's not actually here.
Well,
I'm tempted just to spice it up.
Here's
Just say
something
yes
that
to
that I've just thought of now. There's 12 laps to go. Could there be enough rain to warrant a switch onto full wets?
I was going to bring up, yeah, thinking about that, I was going to bring up the fact that they weren't told that they'd have wet, but then they were also told that the rain would come 45 minutes into the race, so I wouldn't. The rain doesn't appear to be getting heavier at all. I mean, you'd guess that if it was going to get heavier, it would just be sort of constant from when it started.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know what the tyre life is like round here.
Yeah,
What's
I was just thinking
equivalent?
about that. I don't know if the guys that pitted early sprinters are going to have to stop again.
What's the equivalent into life? Like, is that? It must be based on like. Is it just based on like the middle tyre or something? I don't know.
I think it's around
I
15
don't-
laps.
Well, I think it changes on each track though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite hard to tell.
I think Inters are a one-stop no matter what on any track.
Yeah.
But there's
So
also
like
the fact
Jabo
that
and Fuse
there's-
could be struggling towards the end of it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, at the same time, depending on how hard the people that picked later are pushing those tires, they could also be looking at a extra pit stop that they wouldn't really want. Watching as Buzz has lost it at second last corner, managed to keep it on track somehow.
LFC and Frey are running it back into turn 4.
Yep.
Oh no. Frey. LFC this time decides to give him a bit of space. If you want to lesson in clean driving, I know I'm talking this up, but Carcannon and Robert are two of the like nicest guys going. They do have magnets on each other's car for each other sometimes, but
Yeah, well, they're in
they
four
are so
Indias.
cool.
They're in four Indias. Of course, they have magnets for each other's cars.
Even though
They
it
are-
says
yeah.
1 lap for Ibo, I can confirm Ibo is right behind the LFC.
Oh.
So that could be a three-way fight for the bottom end of the points paying positions.
Yeah, but is Ibo actually there? Is he a lap down? It's always possible. Because
I mean,
I think you'll find out fairly quickly because Ibo's the kind of guy that if he's catching
he's
up
a
to
lap
the back
down.
of him,
he's a
he
lap.
won't go. He won't go round. Dan getting past Mike. Dan is making an absolute mission to rescue big points out of this. With Carcannon and Robert in a battle, you never know. He could make up that time.
one thing I'd like to point out, looking at the position change, Bag of Bones has made up 9 positions since the start. Along with that, Jabo, who's currently leading the race, has made up 5.
Yeah, that's huge.
I mean,
Whereas looking at the
they
opposite
perfectly
of
done the
that,
strategy. They
yeah, looking at
perfectly
the
done it.
opposite of that, the two people that have lost the most is LFC, who's lost 5 positions, and Frey, who has lost 7.
Mm.
Yeah, Free hasn't had a good time. I think he's actually done one extra stop as well. Oh no, he's done 2. LFC and Free have both had 2 stops. It's just the Ultrasofts. The Ultrasofts, they could not. It's like I said at the beginning of the race, I don't see the knowledge of going on the Ultrasofts because you're forcing yourself into pitting. Even if the rain is supposed to come late in the race, you're forcing yourself into pitting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's why.
I think Maka's going for his own trophy this race for most pit stops.
I mean, if Marga's
If you
watching
think
right now, Marga, if you're watching, I'll give you some words of encouragement.
don't stop your car.
Ryan Kai's
Oh
up
wait,
the
no,
road.
you're letting people through. That's what it is. I think.
Ryan Kai's up the road. Get him.
He is. He's he's not too far behind. He seems to be letting. I think he's letting Dan through.
Yeah,
Hopefully
he's letting half the field through for those things.
yeah, fair
Right,
play to him. It's
someone has to play the epic music for Marga. I think he needs it right now.
Yeah, I think that'd be more of a distraction at this point.
I think he needs a bit of. Wouldn't let me change twice or change my wing. Oh, that's what Macca's having some issues.
I just noticed we had a few extra comments coming in then as soon as I said epic music.
Heated,
Yeah,
didn't do any practice for the rain, and he paid for it. Poor guy.
Yeah,
Oh, that seems to be tired.
Oh, that might have been
And
something with him at
entrance,
stone.
the entrance to turn 3 or turn 2, whatever you want to call it.
Mm.
It's turn 2. It's
Unlucky.
like Russia. It's like Russia. They want us to believe that little kink is turn 1. It's not turn 1.
No. Outrageous.
It's
I'm just gonna say
unbelievable.
if they call it a turn, then I'm gonna call it a turn.
Car cannon staying glued to the back of his teammate. I'd like
Then
apologise.
I guess that the two of them are probably just working together a bit here to try and pull both of them. See if any of the cars ahead make a mistake, they want to be in the best position possible as a team.
This is it. There's no value in going crazy because they've got quite big gaps either side, haven't they? So not the only thing that I suppose the only thing to spice it up a little bit is that Bones could well steal a podium off Fuzz, even though he's 5 seconds back because.
So I believe Fuzz has a time penalty at some point. So
Yeah, he does.
it's also that comes into it. I haven't really been paying much attention to it. Yellow flag from sector 2.
Ibo,
That's
you're in the
Marco.
points, mate. You're in the points. Double points for Williams. Go on, lad.
Huge. If Macca keeps letting people through, is he going to get ahead of LFC?
Yeah, he should do.
Yeah, he should, because I don't know what lap LC was on when he crashed, but Ryan Kai's goes to pitting again.
Well, that's interesting then, isn't it? Because that must mean that these tyres are getting towards the end of their life. I know that I know that the AI is a
But
bit.
the AI pit way too early when it comes to tyre wear, but other than that,
Yeah, AI
Yeah,
usually
they're
pit like when it's around about 40% AI usually pit in there, whereas we
yeah, I know.
can keep on going like into the 60s and that.
I was
Yeah,
like,
I suppose-
Matt is going to try and unlap himself on Ebel.
Oh my God, Ryan Kai has come out ahead of Maka.
I mean, I believe Maka's a lap down on Ryan Kai.
Ryan
anyway.
Kai's past LFC. Ryan Kai for
It's
the
both
points.
wide.
Yeah, so Maka's unlapped himself from Ebel then. Due to the fact that Ebel ran wide.
I tell you what, Macca's still. He's too late.
Ma-
How many laps
Macca's-
down is he?
Uh, 2 or 3, I'm not sure, but Javel's coming up to
3.
lap them all again.
Blimey.
He is 3 minutes and 57
Yeah,
seconds.
I don't trust that time, to be honest.
I trust it. I trust it.
Yeah, well, saying a
Yes.
lap's probably about, what, a minute 20 at this point?
So yeah, it must be about 3 laps. It must be. It must be.
Yeah, it's 3 laps, just switched it to the gap to leader. As everyone's come from like this, Maka getting a time penalty for pulling off track to let Javel through.
Ibo was smelling the threat from Ryan Kai from behind. He's coming to the pits to respond.
Oh, everyone's gone on to full wets.
Wow.
Here's the thing. I did mention this at the beginning.
But I mean, it's getting there, but at this point in the race, I don't think you're going to regain a pit stop from it. Like, even if you're faster, I don't think you'll be that much faster.
Well, here's the thing. Ibo's got nothing to lose, has he?
Yeah,
exactly.
he's a lap ahead of Ryan, and yeah, he's a lap ahead of Ryan and a lap behind Frey.
Yeah. So what he needs is biblical weather.
So he is sliding all over the place. So he's going to have an interesting...
Little flag in sector 2. He's going for a little trip.
Maka again, I think, yeah. Just looking back, it's just let B Morgan through that things.
We have 2, I think, particular points of interest within this race. We have Dan catching up to the back of Car Cannon, and we have Fuzz trying to get that gap down to 3 seconds to overtake Fuzz for the final podium spot.
Fuzz is trying to overtake himself.
Oh, sorry, Bag of Bones, even. And I think that they're the 2 points of interest at this point now. Ooh,
Maka letting Fuzz through there. 30 mile an hour, that's a great speed to go on a racetrack.
It's going to be interesting. Can Dan not only get past Car Cannon, can he get past Robert as well? With 3 laps to go. Well, 4 laps.
Could be an ask.
Yeah, but looking at the gap, it's not going to be completely impossible. Because the fact that once he gets into the slipstream of one of them, you'll be able to catch him right up to the back of... once he gets into the slipstream properly of Car Cannon, he should be right on the gearbox of him within a lap.
Well, here's one. I don't want to ruin the suspense of it all, but he's near enough. Robert's got a penalty, as does Car Cannon, so he's actually only 0.3, 0.4 behind Robert in real terms. What a race for him then, if he can get 5th. It's a bit of a shame that they're...
You just completely ruined the suspense of it.
Yeah,
sorry,
but
guys.
you say that, but every racer's got part of them that wants to finish ahead of someone else on track.
Well, the
Beating someone on
story...
penalties feels a bit cheaper compared to actually beating them.
True. The story's... sorry, truth is not the winner there, but Car Cannon could potentially... I know these guys, and I know what they'll be doing.
Yeah,
Car Cannon will be
could
looking
slow
to
them down.
fuck him up.
That's what they do. So like, no matter what, Dan's going to finish ahead of at least one of them.
Ooh,
In
Car
fact, he's
Cannon.
going for it. He's going for it right now. Dan's going down the inside into turn 1, backs out of it.
Car Cannon has history down here in the wet, taking people out. You can take it from me.
Was that you by any chance, Mark?
Yes, you can take it from me. About this time, I'm getting serious deja vu, and I tell you what, he's not an easy man to get round. He's a very, very clean driver, but he is not an easy man to get round, and he's doing his teammate huge favours here.
Yeah, Car Cannon definitely knows how to make that car almost as wide as the track is.
To be honest, but I reckon you should sing that Roman Grosjean parody. Battle turned into me.
Car Cannon. Ooh. Really,
Car Cannon's definitely doing his job right. The gap's outside
Nope, here
of
we
the
go.
penalty now.
Down the inside in penultimate corner, this is going to be risky.
Jeez.
And car cannons still ahead for now.
This is so scary.
Oh, it's so close.
The similarities between this and the incident between me and him are absolutely crazy. This is exactly how it happened.
Yeah, I thought you were going to stop after you said the incident there, like just giving it a nickname.
Oh my life.
So, everyone gets a 5-second stop rule. Guess that's for cutting the hairpin.
And the thing is, even though Dan's around him, he's still got to think about him.
Yeah, and the gap's now up to about 5 seconds, with a lap and a half to go. So you're going to have to gain like about 2 seconds to finish ahead of Robert, and I don't see that happening at this point.
Well, Bones, Fuzz lets Bones through. I think Fuzz is just thinking, I don't fancy any last lap drama when this guy's beating me anyway.
Yeah, there's also the fact that it appears like Fuzz is running out of fuel. But his fuel light was flashing before he crossed the line, I think, which means he's going to have to do a bit of fuel saving. We've got Ebro stopping again, and he's got a 5-second stop go to as well.
Well, normally it's the McLarens that pride themselves on their teamwork and interesting tactics, but I think the Force Indias have shown that it's not just the McLarens that can do things that manipulate a race.
Oh, hang on.
So,
I mean, I think
B. Morgan.
is the wrong
B. Morgan's
word.
into the lead.
Jabo's gone round.
Jabo's
Unbelievable.
lost it.
The last sector of the race.
Unbelievable. He's got a puncher. He's got a puncher.
Oh,
I think Bag of Bones is going to get ahead of him here.
Unbelievable. He's got a 3-second pen. He's all over the show.
Yeah. Bag of
Vagabond's in the second. Can Fuzz get
Fuzz.
third?
Jabo, oh my life.
Jabba did
Oh.
manage to hold on to third, but only just. That was an
Yeah.
interesting end to the race.
I was
Oh,
literally
I know.
scrolling through and I just noticed him. B. Morgan 1.7 behind. Hang on, what's going on by here? Oh, back marker. Oh, he's around.
Macca gets out of the way for Robert.
Yeah, it's Robert now.
Oh
Cross the
no!
line.
Come on, Marker. You can't have a Force India show you how to do teamwork. Terrible. Dan is going to be raging at his teammate today.
One thing that I'd like to bring up is, will Maka be, like, considered 11 for 12?
Right.
He'll be considered 11.
Yeah, 'cause
Ibo gets the point.
Nice one for Ebo. Nice solid 10th.
Double points finish for Williams. You'll never hear that ever again this season. Whether it's real life or in the games, you'll never hear it ever again.
Jabo. Oh, well, Morgan
Jabo.
must literally feel like all these... As an all-British front three, I don't think we've seen that in any division this season. Yeah, I just feel bad
I mean-
for Jabo. What a horrible time to get a puncture.
You
Yeah,
got a
but,
feel for him.
But what's always funny is we've got Dave Javu in the chat, congratulating the Williams drivers, and also saying that he mishears you saying deja vu, saying Dave Javu.
Right, and I'm just going to go through the finish of the sec. So we got B. Morgan winning, Vagabond second, Jabo joining them on the podium in third, Fuse fourth, Robert fifth, Dan in sixth, Carcan in seventh, Mike in eighth, Frey in ninth, Ibo getting the last point in 10th. The driver of the day, in my opinion, Ryan Kai's Ghosted AI, finished 11th, but will be in 12th place as Marker gets promoted to 11th. LFC and Heated and Ghost Recon, your non-finishers here today.
Yeah, but I think seriously talking about driver of the day,
Ryan
I'd
Kai.
have to give it to Vagabond. No, I'd have to give it to Vagabond.
No, Ryan Kai.
Oh, fine. I'll tell you what, just even though you're wrong, you can have vagabonds, it's fine.
Ryan Kai, incredible drive from him. Did you not see him go around the outside and then switch back on the inside? On Marker, full
Yeah,
position.
There's one thing you're forgetting. That wasn't Ryan, guys. That was the car driving itself.
Even
Silver
better,
invented a
it was
Silver invented a self-driving car.
it was a telekinetic car. How can you not give that driver the day? He was using the force.
Mad. Yeah, so that was enjoyable, and that worked surprisingly well with three of us, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good banter as
It
well.
wasn't as big a mess as it could have been.
No, absolutely.
But yeah,
Cool, I
seriously,
guess that's-
driver of the day. I think we'll have to give it B Morgan. Didn't put a foot wrong whatsoever in that race.
Well, I'm still going to stick with Bag of Bones. He just said in the chat 13th to second. And he's
Sorry.
annoyed that we're choosing an AI over him.
Yes.
I'd probably be a bit annoyed.
I mean, bag of bones, but you got to watch it back. You got to watch it back. See the absolute move that Ryan Kay was doing on Marker, but it was unbelievable scenes.
Yeah, no, that will open up the title battle a bit as well. That will get that will definitely get him
Yeah,
into.
that seems to be the story of the last two races after Bag of Bones had a bit of a nightmare race last week.
Well, the championship has definitely closed up.
Yeah, a lot of shake-up in the championship so at this point.
Right, I think Mark, you got to shoot off now for D2, haven't you?
Yes, there's Wave. So
Yeah,
right.
I have to go and try not to crash.
Deja vu, but deja vu.
one little TT lap, and then into it. So
Right.
cheers, guys, and see you next week.
Thank you for joining, lads. We'll catch you next week.
Nice.
Right. Safe.